home, away, far from home, far, far away from home. That was what Barcelona were doing to Real Madrid last season. They were beating live out of Real Madrid. They were beating Champions League out of Real Madrid. So last season, it was the season to forget for Real Madrid fans. They couldn't do it in their main competition, the Champions League. And then Barcelona were making them look like kids who don't know how to play football. At some point in time, when you're watching Barcelona versus Real Madrid, you'll be like, it's more like a secondary school versus maybe JS1 versus SS1 playing. I say JS1 versus SS3 playing. There's a big gap. There was a big gap in the quality of the play. Barcelona were playing such a high line, and even with the fast players of Real Madrid, they were unable to break those lines. But now, the second manager in Europe that is under the most pressure after Ruben Amorim of Manchester United is Xabi Alonso. I will give him that spot. He needs to get Real Madrid back up and running. They're trying to get a few players out of the squad, Rodrigo and some other few things. They brought in a few signings, a left back, a right back, and one or two things. But as far as I'm concerned, the problems of Real Madrid last season was the midfield. There was no game controller. There was no guy who could dictate the pace of the game in that midfield. And that was where they were losing it most. You had the best attackers, come on. You had one of the best defense, the best goalkeepers. But then what was going on? Your midfield was so bad. And I'm not sure Madrid made any approach to solve any midfield problem. Or maybe the Xabi Alonso system doesn't require a dictator in the game. It's left for Real Madrid to discover that one. But then you have Barcelona with the likes of Lamine Yamal, Marcus Rashford, and the rest coming, and they want to defend their La Liga title, do it back to back. And most especially for Barcelona is to win the UEFA Champions League. But Real Madrid, without a well-recognized number 9, when I saw people going out for strikers up and down, I was expecting Real Madrid to go for him, to go for a striker. Now you have a certain Alexandra Isak who is out of options at Newcastle. Why not go for this guy quickly? Because as far as I'm concerned, Mbappe doesn't give you those threats in the box. He's a guy who mostly comes in from the wings and gives you the threat. But as a main striker threat, he doesn't have it. Vinicius doesn't have it. Rodrigo doesn't have it. Or does the new Garcia boy has it? We don't know. We'll find out this season. But home, away, far away from home, I don't think Real Madrid wants that to happen again. Because we only have two teams dominating Spanish football. Real Madrid, Barcelona. So if you're not beating Barcelona or Real Madrid, then what are you doing in La Liga? Atletico Madrid, just a follow-up team escort, I would call them, definitely.